All right, welcome inside the post-game podcast. Boomer just walked out. We just finished up the program. Al, how you be?
Oh, hi there, Jerry. So we a lot of people buy stuff off Amazon.
Everybody,
That's I
yes.
buy everything off Amazon. I mean, just because of the convenience.
Yeah.
It's there. I don't have to leave my house.
I
What's that?
I think to compete with Carvana, now you can buy cars. You can buy Hyundais.
Yeah.
And I think I would be surprised if within a year you can't buy most brands from them.
Yeah, there's certain things I'm not yet ready to buy things on Amazon. I'm not ready to buy a car on
Mhm.
Amazon. I'm not ready to go to the doctor on Amazon. Like I'm just not sure yet.
Telemedicine, not for you?
I don't know. Not Amazon. I think I would go to like a different
Okay.
something like Teledoc, something
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
more that's been doing it a
Mhm.
while. I just can't imagine who's like being an Amazon doctor. You know what I mean? But I strangely the one day I order. Do you ever order stuff from Amazon that doesn't come delivered from Amazon?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, third-party shippers, yeah.
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 So
Like, for instance, I contemplated putting the calendar on Amazon to try and sell more, back in, November and December. I ultimately didn't because they take a pretty good amount from you, and there's a lot of crap you gotta go through to get on there.
yeah,
But in that case, doing the research, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can be the one to send it, or you can supply Amazon with the product, and they will send it. So I do think, or at least my guess would be, especially if people are printing stuff themselves at home, they might want to have the control over sending it. So yes, I have gotten stuff from a third party.
so I'm curious about this one because this was a weird one, and I didn't even realize this. I guess there were certain things like I'd order like a dog toy that
Mhm.
always came in the mail. It was
Right.
not in an Amazon box. It would end up in my mailbox. I'm like,
Yep.
in my
Yep.
mailbox.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. It's a dog toy. So I order vitamins from that guy online, Dr. Paul Saladino.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like doctor. He's all muscular. He's
Yeah.
about food. He's got vitamins. So he has some sort of bone vitamin,
Okay.
like with calcium and things. So I like it. So I ordered it from Amazon, and I got the delivery in my mailbox, and it had just some guy's return address, just like a guy.
Really?
I was like,
That's an odd one.
that was odd to me.
That's an odd one.
So, but it's sealed and everything, and I'm like, okay, I guess this is a little weird. But so then I see another thing online that somebody was just talking into a video and talking about how a lot of vitamins sold on Amazon are fake, even brand name
No,
ones.
great.
And I'm like, well,
Fantastic.
this one just came from some guy in North Jersey.
You might have bought fake vitamins.
Even though it's sealed, like you could buy a sealer, right? I
Yeah,
get.
I would
I mean,
think you probably could. I don't know, Al. I don't know what's real, what's not
why
anymore.
is everyone faking me out?
Because everyone's trying to make money they don't deserve to make. They're
So
scam artists.
this person on the video was saying that you should always try, and it's not always possible, and depending on what you're ordering, you should always try to to buy even on Amazon. If you're buying something on Amazon, oftentimes the owner of the product, the
Mhm.
owner of the company, is the one selling it. So if you're buying Dr. Bronner's soap, you should be buying that on Amazon from Dr. Bronner's shop,
Right.
right?
Not from Soaps Inc.
Right, not from Soap Inc. Because then that could be. I mean, now I got to start.
Now you got to start investigating what you're actually purchasing on the site, like where
Right.
it's coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, So now it's not just I'm looking at every little ingredient in the food I'm purchasing. Where is this food coming from? Is it coming from China?
There's
Now,
nothing easy.
now I just to place an Amazon order,
Uh-huh.
I got to look because other people feel like they get stuff like, let's say you get. I'm just using this as an example. They've not been linked to anything bad.
Mhm.
Let's say you order a Mr. Coffee machine.
Okay.
Mr. Coffee's got a nice reputation, but maybe you're not really getting a coffee machine made by Mr. Coffee. It's made by some fugazi place. They slap a Mr. Coffee name on it, gets to sell it on Amazon.
Yeah.
There seems to be like no checks and balances on the
There might
Amazon
not be.
side of things.
There might not be. I kind of went through it a little bit and it was not that easy to just sell
Yeah.
on Amazon. There's a lot of stuff you have to do, but ultimately, I'm sure if you take the time, you can probably sell anything on it. Sadly.
Now, could this guy that sent me these vitamins, could he also look on Amazon, go, hey, this Dr. Paul Saladino, very popular online, and he's not selling his products on Amazon. I'll buy up a ton of them and then I'll sell them and make money because people are going to come here looking for his product.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
That'd have to be a pretty big markup though, because he's buying them at the Saladino price
Unless he goes to them as like a
as a
retailer
wholesaler.
and says, "Hey, I want to buy 500 bottles of your vitamins. What can you sell them to me for?" Then he thinks, "Okay." But then you also got to
Well,
think these people, this man in North Jersey who sent me the vitamins, I didn't pay him for shipping.
no,
Like he's got to work that into
the price.
the price.
Yeah, something doesn't add up for me.
I know. I'm still taking these vitamins. I could be eating sawdust.
You might be the placebo. You got nothing.
Right.
What about you? You don't go to the doctor's website? Maybe try and buy them direct.
I haven't in the past only because like you get so used to
Oh,
not
I
paying
know.
for shipping.
I know.
And it's like, I want to buy this bottle of vitamins. Okay, it's $7 to ship. Why?
Well, because it costs to
Right.
ship. That's why.
And I think it's the other thing. And I think this must be why everyone goes to Amazon. It's like they already have my credit card. They already
I know
have
it's
my
easy.
address.
I
I
know.
don't have
You
to
can
punch
just click
all this
buy
stuff.
now, and it just
Right.
boom, it's gone. I know. I'm well aware.
Yes, buy now.
But it doesn't. It's tough. Amazon has made things so. They've made it more convenient for the consumer for sure. They've made it really hard on the small business though.
Yeah.
Because if you have a home-based business, if you're not selling with Amazon, like you have to charge for shipping. There's nothing
Right.
else you can do about it. I've got, as you know, I mean, some of these I lose money on when someone buys a hoodie from us, for instance, and let's say an Allen Jerry hoodie. I only charge $5 for shipping. I'm telling you right now, it costs $8. So, and maybe I should build that into the price. I don't. It is what it is. But yet, if you buy a hoodie on Amazon, they ship it for nothing, and the
Right.
Amazon and the hoodie's cheaper. It's a killer for a small business.
Yeah, and those businesses know they have to be on Amazon. So
They're losing more money.
I had a thing a couple of years ago. I bought this. This is when I was like trying to be eating, drinking everything clean and just be. I bought this Aqua True
Oh, I remember
filter
this.
system.
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm going to order this from the company
yeah.
because they are a small business.
How'd this work out for you?
I got it. First of all, the thing was so heavy and it was too big for my counter space.
Yeah.
So I wanted to return it. They charged me $70 to ship it back to them.
Because that's what it costs.
Right. Had I bought it on Amazon from them, it was free shipping and free returns.
Because Amazon would cover it probably.
Right.
I know. That's
So
the
it's like, what
benefit.
do you do?
I know. And I will tell you though, I actually think you did the right thing with the right intention.
Yes.
Because ultimately you're trying to give that small business a bigger chunk of the product and their profit for what they did. The problem is if you have an issue, now you're stuck.
Right.
And that stinks.
Yes.
It just does.
Yeah, I know. It stinks.
That's the one benefit of using Amazon is that they'll handle it. And I don't even know, as a small business owner, they do that return for nothing or limited. I don't know if they charge it back to the I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works either.
Me neither. And they might charge that back to the client, the customer, or not the customer, the client.
Yeah, probably.
Tough.
Are you a fan of Guinness beer?
No.
I've recently really started to
I know
enjoy
you.
it.
I know.
So this morning, today being St. Patrick's
You had a Guinness
Day,
this morning?
I did not have a Guinness, but I just wanted to double check, and I typed into the AI. I go, is Guinness brewed in Ireland?
I thought we did this already, and this is one of the ones that is.
It is, but I said, I'm trying to think the way I worded it. I asked, I go, do they brew any Guinness in the United States?
Right.
And it sent back to me. It says Guinness has their factory in Dublin. They also have a factory in Maryland. But the one in Maryland is used for experimental beers.
Oh, okay.
That's what they said when they try new things. I said, okay. I go, so if I order a Guinness draft in the United States, that is 100% coming from Ireland. Most likely coming from Ireland. I go, most likely doesn't sound like 100%.
Right.
They go, well, I guess you never can tell, but they're the ones who make the beer. And this place in Maryland, and they were given examples of like, it was like a Guinness Blonde. And
Right.
So it wasn't Guinness. I want to know that the Guinness I'm drinking in a bar is coming from Ireland.
Here's an interesting question.
Yes.
Is a keg of Guinness from Ireland shipped on a plane that's got refrigeration for kegs?
I don't know.
No way. I would, my guess
Are
would
they
be,
coming over in a big shipping container?
Maybe. I was going to say my guess would be the bottles and the cans get shipped, but maybe the keg beer is produced here.
I bet they don't need to keep the kegs cold. Like when they first make the Guinness,
No?
when they put it in the keg and then they ship it.
So
I
just room
do
temperature
think,
Guinness?
yeah,
Interesting.
because if you really Google how you're supposed to drink a Guinness, it's not supposed to be as cold as a regular beer,
Okay.
but it's not supposed to be room temperature. There's some sort of
Yeah.
thing.
And you like it, and it's got less calories than you think, right? Isn't that what you found out?
Yes, strangely, because I would thought it would have been more
Yeah.
actually.
I remember you looking into this a couple months ago.
Yeah. I really enjoy it, but I'm wondering if I'm going to enjoy it in the summer because that does not seem like a summer beer,
No, that's where
right?
Corona picks up for me.
Yeah.
Corona, Dos Equis, and that doesn't have to be Mexican beer, but those are the ones that. Although I drink a lot of Michelob Ultra, I have this thing with the on Fridays. I like to have a beer on on the first hole of golf because it signifies the weekend has
Yes, the
started.
weekend. Here come the weekend.
Yes, here come the weekend, and so that's usually a Michelob Ultra. But like when I'm barbecuing outside, I take a Corona outside or a Corona Light,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like you and your country music. When I'm outside barbecuing and it's 60 degrees or more and it's sunny out and I'm all alone out there and I'm having that feels like summer.
Yeah. So, like, if I looked, does Guinness sell less beer in Florida because Florida is a warm weather?
That's a good question. I don't know.
These would be questions for AI later on
That's
when
a
I'm
great
having lunch.
when you really have nothing to do.
When I'm having lunch and just talking to the computer.
What was the poll result of the cologne?
Oh, I didn't
check?
I didn't follow up.
Okay, it's fine. Not
Yeah.
that big a deal.
We
Just
can
curious.
report back tomorrow.
That's
for
really
that.
not that big a deal. I was just curious.
I saw something online that I thought you would get a kick out of. Just that, we talk about, listen, radio uh, has certainly done cutbacks as far as the amount of people that work on a
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
And, you've lost people in the newsroom to help you cut up sound and that sort of thing. So do you know Triumph, the insult comic dog?
No.
It's the puppet. It's like this puppet that Robert Smigel uses.
Okay.
And I think he started doing it on the Conan show when Conan first
Oh, okay.
started.
Maybe I'm familiar with it.
He
Yeah.
goes to things, he just makes fun of people right to their faces, and he's a dog, and it's
Right.
a dog puppet. So anyway, the Stern Show posted Triumph came to the office to make fun of our staff. You would not believe
How many people?
the amount of people, Jerry. Triumph goes into this one room. There's got to be more than 10 people sitting at computers.
Wow.
And Triumph said this was the writer's room.
Oh my gosh.
The writer's room.
Well, I do know from listening a little bit, they still put together production pieces.
Yeah.
They still do skits. Like that is not show up, do a 4-hour show and get the hell out of here at 10:15. You can tell they're putting in 8 hours.
Yeah. And then you also, I got to think that if you're, Howard does very in-depth interviews. So my
Right.
guess is somebody's
Research.
going through all of those things.
No question.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a lot. It's our staff is us.
Yeah. I mean, it really looked like a crazy amount of people.
It probably looked like 1992.
Yeah. So you got to, if you are on YouTube, check that out. Triumph. And it's also very funny, Triumph making fun of them all.
Oh, I'm sure. I can
Yeah.
imagine. I did hear driving in, they did a best of 1995.
What?
Yeah. And it was the one segment I heard, he was talking to someone about how the movie was finally written and they were going into production. It's just, it was cool. What's amazing too is his sound has held up.
Yeah.
Like he at the age of 72 right now, he sounds the same as he did in 1995, where he was, I guess, 42.
Right.
And they're talking about this movie, which we've all seen now a million times. And it was before it even came out, it sounded like before they even shot a scene. And it was cool to listen to, all the stuff he was going through. And he was calling the guy not pig vomit. He was calling him
pig virus.
Pig virus. Yes.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It really was.
Yeah. I remember listening not long ago to an old clips of Howard Stern screaming. And at one point he yells to Robin, "I'm 37 years old. I can't be doing this." I'm like, oh my God.
How about 72? You're doing it. That's 37 years ago.
Yeah. Then I watched a clip yesterday of Letterman put out a montage of Eddie Murphy appearances.
Yeah.
Now the Letterman thing is tricky because when you die, Letterman puts out a thing.
I hear.
But he also just puts out stuff like, here's a bunch of best of Eddie Murphy. And it was a great one too, and he asked Eddie Murphy how old he was, and Eddie Murphy looked mature or whatever. He goes, "Oh, I'm 37 or something, 30 something."
Yeah.
And he goes to Letterman, "Oh, how old are you?" And he goes, "Well, I'm 47 now." And I just couldn't believe that
Mm-hmm.
because I always picture like Letterman to me is now always an older guy,
Yes.
even though,
Yeah, as you age with them, they're always older than you.
yeah,
But it's almost like when you were 20 and he might have been 40, you felt like he was 90.
yeah, it was
I
just a
know.
wider gap back
Yeah,
then.
for sure. For sure. Well,
Like,
yeah, younger. So the gap between, that's a really good way to put it. The gap between a 16-year-old and a 30-year-old is huge. But the gap between a 40-year-old and a 56-year-old
yeah.
is nothing.
Well, I'll tell you the weirdest example that I see every day is Boomer. So Boomer's only 8 years older than me.
Right.
But if you were to tell me how old are you when Boomer was quarterback, I'd have been like, I was 12. But maybe
Well, that's actually probably true.
so I probably was I had to be in 19 so in 1989,
Yeah.
I was 20.
Okay.
So then Boomer was
Right.
28.
Right. So you weren't 12
I wasn't 12,
when he
right.
was doing what he was doing
But
at the
that's
high level.
what it feels like. I feel like I was a little kid,
Yeah.
Boomer was a professional, and there was only an 8-year difference. And
Yeah.
now knowing what 8 years, you go, "Oh, let me look back 8 years."
It's nothing. It is nothing.
2017 is 8 years ago.
I know. I know. It's crazy, man. Like my younger son will be turning 15 soon. And I think back when I turned 15, I got a moped. And I remember feeling like I was so old and mature. And now I'm thinking, I love him to death, but I'm like, he ain't getting a moped. He ain't driving around on a moped. Out of your mind? No chance. And
Yeah.
it just feels different when you're going through it. And as the years go by and by, it just feels, I don't know. Everything feels the same, but very different. I don't know how to describe. It's like your mind feels like you're still younger than you are. Then you look in the mirror, you're like, I'm getting old. Like weird.
Yeah, it's weird seeing, I look every day now on the Google Photos
Okay.
where it gives you your Google photo memories,
Yeah, sure.
and it's crazy just seeing everyone from the show,
Yeah.
16 years
Yep.
ago,
Yep.
or this was in 2013,
Yeah.
or it's really weird to
I
see.
know for me, it's very obvious. Is about 25 pounds and more hair. Like that to me is what I see. Because I get those too. Mine don't go back as far as you probably have Google photos going all the way back to '07 when the show started. I don't.
Yeah.
Mine I started with Google Photos in 2012, I believe. So any photo that I have is 2012 or later. But even like you just mentioned 2013. Yeah, I see photos like a couple of screenshots from the show that I wound up downloading and saving so they were cool. And I'm 25 pounds lighter and I have better hair. Like that's what I see.
Do you run it like on my Google Photos? I get a lot of times the same pictures, and I'm like,
No, I
yeah,
don't.
I get a lot of the,
Really?
yeah,
No.
like
You mean
this,
the memories that pop
yeah,
up?
the memories that pop up are so many times. It's like Boomer and Carton with the same,
Really?
yeah, like over and I'm like, oh, I see this photo
Maybe
all
they
the
really
time.
want you to save it or do something with it.
But I've already had saved them, which is how they're in my Google Photos to begin with.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I don't really notice that. I actually find it to be a nice blend of like the most recent one I got was a memory from going to Florida in 16 with my parents. So my older son he was 11, my younger son was 5. And that was kind of cool. I had not seen those photos in years.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat. So no, I don't have the same issue you do with that.
I sent one to Carton yesterday. It came up. It was me videotaping. I snuck up on his office
Okay.
while he was prepping the show. And I turned in there. First of all, his office is just packed
No,
with
sure.
stuff.
Yep.
He has got headphones on and he's DJing on a piece of equipment that's on this television screen he's got it hooked up to.
Yep. This is before the show.
He was DJing,
Remember
like practicing DJing.
You used to go hang out with him before the show every day.
Yeah, I'd go
For a
down there
half
by
hour.
5:15,
Yeah.
and I would just talk about things that were on the show sheet,
Yeah.
things that were interesting. And so many times he was not paying any attention to me, and yet would say something in the same way we
Really?
talked about it when I didn't think he was paying attention to
That
me.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like those little meetings are missed show-wise? Like, do you think it matters? It makes a difference?
I don't know. I think it was. I felt like I. Yeah, I don't know. It was
Okay.
a different.
Well, the whole dynamic's different
Yeah,
because you
the whole
didn't have to
dynamic
do an
was
hour
different.
radio show
Right.
before the show began. You did have time to kill. You got in later. You slept a little bit more. And you didn't have a dog, and you were probably more, what's the right word? Probably more peppy, going into the show and wanted to. I never sat in one, but my guess is you were interested in talking about some of the stuff to kind of see what direction he might go.
Yeah, and whether this was true or not, I was never sure that he knew what happened in the sports world
Oh, the night before.
the night
Yeah,
before.
I could see that.
So I would come in mainly just to say out loud the things that happened,
The Yankees won.
and this weird thing happened,
Right.
um, where I do feel like Gio knows what happened the night
That's
before,
true.
so it would probably be a different thing.
Right, right, right.
But then, yeah, then we used to kind of just hang out and talk, and then things might come up.
Right.
What did you do yesterday? What did or what happened, or what did you hear? What were you listening
Next
to?
thing you know, a conversation could turn into a bit on the
Yeah.
radio or a segment.
He also used to keep me updated on like pop music that was going. Like I really do not know any of the songs
Mhm.
because he had kids
Yep.
that were younger that was listening to that, and he also liked that kind of music.
Mhm.
So he used to play stuff for me and be like, "Oh, this is this is a Sabrina Carpenter song that you're gonna like this song."
And you weren't allowed to leave until you listened to the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I was like, "All right, yeah, that's not bad.
That is
That's
funny.
not bad."
Yeah, I never had one pre-show meeting ever.
Really?
Never. Nope. One of the cool photos I did take, I don't even think you guys are even aware of it, and maybe it'll go in the book one day.
Mm.
I did take a cool photo when we were doing and prepping for Boomer and Geo Live. So I took a shot in the corner, and I'm the only one not in it, of course, because I took the photo. But it's cool. It looks like one of those photos, like when all is said and done.
Yeah.
You're gonna look back and be like, "Wow, look at the work they were putting in. That's pretty cool." They had a post-show meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We had a few of them.
Yeah.
It's a neat photo. Boomer's in it because he didn't come to many of those.
Right.
This is the one where Boomer's in it, Izzo's in it, you and Eddie and Tom and Hurley's in it. Like it's a neat photo in his office.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to even like what a producer. It really depends on who your host is and what your host does. I don't know. It's weird. That's changed over the years.
The job.
Yeah, that's changed a lot over the years as well.
Well, the whole industry's changing.
Yeah,
So
it sure has.
it's not surprising that has changed too.
Yeah,
The format has changed. Like I said to you the other day, it's niche sports now, niche topics in a lot of cases. And now we're competing against a lot more than just radio,
right.
which is hard.
A lot of competition in that car.
It sure is.
Podcasts, music.
YouTube to me is the biggest. I think we can talk about podcasts all we want, and it's definitely a factor. There's no doubt. I think YouTube is the biggest competitor right now.
Even in the car?
I don't know about in the car, but I think in the office.
Yeah, in the office.
See, I think in the office, a lot of people used to stream us from people I talk to. A lot of people sit at their desk and watch YouTube at work. I don't know who's listening to the radio anymore. It's become it's almost like you've got TV at your fingertips and you can pause it and stop it and start over. And and you can watch anything you want.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
I find myself at home, I'll put YouTube on and I don't even have to be looking at it, even though it's
just on in the
of it is it's
background.
video.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. I am more and more moving to YouTube Premium than regular cable.
Yeah.
I find
Me too.
myself at night watching more and more of it.
Yeah.
Just because something's on my mind, it's there. And that's what I mean by the whole niche sports thing. It's the same thing. If you're a Rangers fan now, and we know there's a lot of them, there are so many Ranger shows you can watch if you really want your fill of Ranger talk.
Right.
And that I actually think it's our biggest competitor now. Could be wrong.
Absolutely, Jerry.
Could be wrong.
All right, Jerry, let's do the warm-up show.
All righty.
I did that with CeeLo.
Yes, and again tomorrow.
And we'll do that the rest of the week.
Yes.
Me and CeeLo on the warm-up, you and Boomer on the regular show, me and you in the post-game podcast.
Right on.
So